Thanks so much, Kelvin, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are so happy to be joined by Kelvin, who's the Chief Strategy Officer at Chogori. We are going to do a short interview on his thoughts on the Indian electric two-wheeler market and Chogori's plans for India.
Yeah.
So we'll get right to it.
Yes, please.
So Kelvin, my first question is, how do you view the current growth and evolution of electric two-wheeler market in India, and what are some of the trends you see, coming in the coming years?
Okay, we have been in India market. I think if we go back about 2016, that's the time that we actually started, and we are quite fortunate that some of the OEMs trusted us. Also, possibly we are one of the earliest to come in to provide all the various solutions. So we took a lot of what we did in the legacy products, and then we improved on those legacy products. And the legacy products are intended originally for the lighting industry. So lighting industries are used outdoors, very demanding environment, under rain, strong UV, things like this. So when we extended the solution to the local EV market, we need to think a lot more with regards to things like vibration, things like even more intense corrosion,
Yes.
the way that the products are used, the durability, things like this. Yeah? So, and that's where we start to develop various range of products. And this morning session talks a lot about modularity, interoperability, things like this. So, and that's where we introduce solutions with the intent for DC architecture. With 2 power pins, signal pins, make sure that there is a protocol to AIS 156 that later is needed. So, so we introduce the products and also ensuring that it can support whether is it a fixed battery system or whether is it used for battery swapping.
Okay.
It's the same range of products that can be applied.
Okay.
So we walked the path until where it is today. It's already the last about 9 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And given there is a lot of focus on localization and supply chain resilience, when it comes to India.
Yes.
So how do you see the role of global suppliers, such as Chogori, in supporting this transformation? When it comes to localizing.
Yeah. So by and large, from a connector point of view, the best thing is that things are getting bigger. When I say bigger, as in the power perspective.
Okay.
So typically for a connector, if you bundle it with cables, the cable can take quite a heavy portion of the entire bill of material. And that's also where some of the challenges we have having products built in China. So we take several steps, one of which is to have products built in Thailand.
Okay.
So currently we have a manufacturing site in Thailand because Thailand has a FTA arrangement with India. So that's one of the risk mitigation that we did.
Okay.
The second one is that the OEMs that we work with is also partly mandatory. They need us to think about having products that can value add here in India, including cable assemblies, including some terminals and housing that needs to be terminated at the end of the cable.
Okay.
That eventually integrates into the battery, integrates at the motor side or power discharge. So these are things currently that we have adopted based on the OEM requests. So we have parent parts that is shipped here with a lot of those value add that can easily constitute more than 50% of the entire assembly.
Got it.
Here. So the third full strategy that we took is also to develop more and more products that can come as a complete knockdown. In other words, the product can be fully assembled just based on basic raw materials. I think an example like the Type 6 that we bundle for consumer side. In other words, the lower charging current.
Got it.
The whole product is a full knockdown. It can be 100% assembled here, in which some of the cable assembly manufacturers are already working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are things that we can do at this moment. Yeah.
Okay, great. And you mentioned even at the start that there are some very India-specific challenges
Yes.
that you had to face in terms of the use
Yeah.
and the conditions, right? So, in terms of these high-performance connectors and interconnect solutions that you specialize in, what specific challenges when it comes to India's electric two-wheelers do your products address?
Okay, so we did a lot of use case over the years. When I say use case, I say because there are various categorization. Some of those involving what we know as home charging. You can bring it back home, or you can charge it at nearby offices. And there's also those that is intended for fast charge. So the fast charge has got different categorization, even including now the Type 6 fast charging gun is one type. I tend to look at a lot of this in terms of how fast you want to turn around, something like this. And that's where some of those solutions for battery swap comes into play. And then both have different requirements, the technical expectations, things like this for us to overcome. But one of those things that we gathered over the years is that the battery can fail. The connector can fail, but not the battery. So in other words, whatever the durability, the number of mating cycles that we subject, the connector is supposed to last. The connector is supposed to last longer than the life of the battery.
Oh wow.
Okay, because the connector is cheap, the battery cells is a lot more expensive. So we work around a lot of things to ensure that all the ingress protection, the waterproofing requirements, they are at a much heightened level.
Okay.
And everything that we do are also in compliance to automotive standards, the IATF 16949, that's what we do in our factory. So including also subject the connectors to very rigorous testing.
Okay.
Beyond the normal standards, and some of the OEMs here requesting us beyond those limits, in terms of the temperature, plus, minuses. So we work over the years to overcome a lot of these technical challenges, and including also the number of mating cycles that a lot of requests now getting more than 10,000, and correspondingly, the need to get the temperature at as low as possible. Because once you mate too many times, the resistance goes up, your heat builds up. Yeah, so these are things that we spend a lot of time to perfect. Everything that we do, from the contacts, the pins, the technology behind, and then the plastics around it. So there's quite a bit of technicality involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, it's no secret India's industry is very, Indian industry when it comes to multiple sectors, we are a very cost sensitive market.
Yes.
Right. And so how do you kind of balance delivering, these high quality, highly reliable connectors while meeting the price expectation of Indian OEMs?
Yeah, so there is a few things that we think about because we are focusing a lot on in product management. So product management sounds to be something very simple or something like this, yeah. But our team spend a lot of time to think about the product architecture into the future.
Okay.
So the product architecture, as in when we develop a range of products, then we think about all the various possibilities, how the market may evolve in the next 10 years. And that's also why, until today, the solutions that we promote in India market, there are only currently approximately about 3 major product range.
Okay.
One of them is the very first generation of products that is used a lot by, for example, TVS on their iQube. And then the next generation where the power goes slightly higher. And then the next generation now that is going into the 80 to 100 amperes.
Okay.
So, and if you notice, the market is getting into a hybrid. Hybrid as in there are those that come with fixed batteries, those that come with swappable batteries. Okay. The best thing is the same set of connector solutions are adopted in both ways. So we work to max up the design to the best that we can in terms of the considerations for all the materials that needs to be used. And we also got them to be better in terms of economy of scale because it is scalable in either way.
Okay.
And that's how we work to lower the costs best possible. And in a way, also promoting standardization. There are many customers in other regions. I'll take an example in Africa. They're asking us one of our range of product, the one that we call it as a Banga 100. So the word Banga come from Bangalore. Okay, so there was a story behind how we developed the product. And that connector, same thing, is a very nice small form factor, DC 2 pins. Conceptually same as current Type 6. So people are asking us, can that be adopted? The answer is obviously yes, but it is not an IEC standard.
Okay.
Things like this. So as we expand into what we were doing, and then we now latch onto the basic LEVDC, which is the Type 6. It's a natural extension to just tap along the DC architecture, which is a lot simpler for the scooter. Yeah, things like this. Yeah.
Okay. And you touched upon this earlier as well. Safety is a big aspect, when it comes to
aspect,
EV adoption, right?
Yes.
And so, how do your connectors contribute, in terms of enhancing the reliability and durability of battery and powertrain systems when it comes to electric two-wheelers?
So everything that we did over the years rests upon a few basic fundamentals. One of which is that the number of mating cycles, as you slowly increase, there's always this curve in which you subject a pin and a socket many times of insertion. Then the resistance tends to go up, the temperature tends to go up. So there's a lot of things we think about from the pin and the socket, the design, the geometries, things like this. Yeah? And then how we should treat kind of materials that we should use correspondingly to the customer's application.
Okay.
So that the heat should not build up. So we have got a lot of very interesting comments. I was just in Japan a week ago. And then I got Japanese customers that is having concentration here in India as well. They ask us this question, say, what kind of cooling system did you do to get your connector still maintaining that, the heat level is still within, way below. So these are things that is very important to us to continue to think about, number one. The second part is that a lot of our connector solutions comes with various locking systems, some of which is like a snap lock, some of which is like a lever lock, in which you need to push the lever to extract. So given the conditions here in India, the way that the connector locks is extremely crucial. And you saw the presentation earlier, we even subject to a lot of those tests like pull. We pull the entire cable up to the battery that weighs 12, 15 kilograms, those kind of things. And yet the connector plug needs to hold very rigidly over the panel. So things like this are extremely crucial. And then at the same time, some new things coming up, talking about potentially circuit protection, things involving overload protection, things like that. It's the same like if you plug in your AC main, sometimes you get a spark, things like that.
Yep.
So there are customers concerned on these areas. So we're thinking about some of this overload protection, and how to ensure that no power transmit. Power only transmit after the signals. There's a protocol, then you transmit power so that you don't have arcing problems, things like this. Yeah? So these are some new things that we are discussing with various customers to make it even more robust overall design. Yeah.
And now I'll come to my final question in terms of, when it comes to the India market. So what are your future plans? Like in terms of, in terms of any new segments you're looking to enter, any new products you're launching? I mean, just generally, what are your long-term goals for the Indian market?
Okay, India, from the beginning until now, since about 2016, is almost coming also close to a decade. So we are just very fortunate that some of the mass adoption took place using our solution. And then definitely one of the priority is continue to be the preferred supplier of choice. So that we can, the market currently only has about 6.5% of penetration in terms of the EV. And in the years to come, we also strongly believe that we can contribute a lot to the economy in terms of this conversion. Because now I think TCO, the cost of ownership, slowly favoring EVs. This is what we see at the moment. So at the same time, one of the challenge we have a lot of requests for us to have operations here. So some of them ask me, to set up something here, things like that. But one of the challenges, I cannot bring my China engineers to India at the moment.
Okay.
So that is one of those limiting challenges. That's how Thailand came about based on this current interim.
Okay.
So definitely, my bosses are very keen to come because we got so many customers asking us to do something here. So what we did for now is to work with certain partnerships to make sure that some of our connectors, the value add can be done here, the cables, the housing, terminals. But a lot of them asking us for potentially get into JVs, some partnering choices and options, things of this. So we are thinking about a few things, and my boss is very, very keen to come here to continue those discussions. On the technical side, other than those things that I mentioned, we're thinking about higher power requirements into the future. As in now people asking us for more than 200 amperes, things like that. So we already have a few things we're thinking about in our product pipeline.
Okay. That was a detailed interview with Kelvin, Chief Strategy Officer at Chogori at Two-Wheeler, Three-Wheeler in EV Forum at our 6th edition on 19th of March at the Taj Vivanta, Dwarka. So we'll see you for the next edition and for more such interviews with industry leaders like Kelvin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you again, Rohit.